Welcome back everybody to another time-lapse of the prototype of Castle Story. Alrighty, we're going to be talking about triumphs and frustrations. My triumphs for the since the last time we did time-lapse, I continued to do live streams on Twitch TV for this continuation of the time-lapse series. It was actually pretty good. I went out and bought myself a face cam, and you can actually see me doing face cam live streams. It was actually pretty cool. Got it all set up. Resolution's not really the best, but I'm working on that. Just slowly pushing it up, seeing how far I can get it without having the live stream totally tear itself to bits. Now, that brings me to one of my frustrations. After recording an hour of the live stream, instead of saving the game, I decided to load it for some strange reason, so therefore losing an hour's worth of work. The couple people that were actually with me on the live stream saw me do it and called me a huge noob, and they were quite correct in doing so. So what I had to go back to was actually recording again for this particular time lapse for another about an hour, and this is the resulting what you got now. Both they're not time lapses. Both live streams are still up on twitch.tv/Raetac. I'll leave a link down in the description to where the videos are. If you do that, you'll discover in those 2 hours I was fighting with the AI of this prototype and the Bricktons pretty much right through the 2 hours I spent that night live streaming. Now that brings me to one conclusion, that maybe the custom map has something to do with it. So at the end of the live stream, I came to the realization that I should restart. So this will be the last time lapse of this particular structure, sculpture, whatever, what have you. And I shall be restarting on the old prototype map which they gave us right at the very beginning. Hopefully I won't have so much trouble with the Bricktons AI. I'm hoping that is the case. It could be just this custom map I tried to use. It's not doing me any favors. Alright, what else happened on that live stream night? Ah, that's right, I did record a little bit more of Planet Explorers. As you probably do know, if you happen to be one of my subscribers, you would have known the fact that Planet Explorers did get its funding. I was very pleased with that. My name and my character names and everything else is going into the player world somewhere around, so you'll get my real name. I'll let you find that out for yourself, of which I might bring up if I find it, and the name of Raetac Rages. That will also be in the game, in the story world somewhere. Whereabouts, I am not entirely sure, but my name is going to be immortalized in-game. This is going to be fantastic just to find it. Actually, speaking of names in games, once Castle Story gets finalized, they will have a credits island where the backers will be able to dig up names in the floating island of the credits. So they got the chance to go to the credits island, dig it up, and find people's names that are in there. I hopefully will be able to do that at some point when they release the game, and find my own name. That would be one hell of a wicked achievement to get. Now, as you can see in the time lapse around about here, I was having trouble trying to get the wood aspects happening. The loggers would chop the trees down, but they weren't moving the wood. So I don't know what the hell was going on there. Whether it's just because of the load or the terrain or something, distances. I will try and actually send the save game on to the developers, see if they can actually figure out what the hell's going on here. We haven't actually seen much movement from the developers in regards to a new patch, but I'm sure they're working really hard on it. So yes, getting back to Planet Explorers, really enjoying that game. For an alpha, it's very well polished. I can't wait to see what they do with that. One other thing to mention, actually this was actually the main motivation for me actually purchasing a webcam. I have been invited to appear on the RPM podcast. It's a smallish podcast which is run by partners of the RPM network. Now the podcast itself is not a huge thing, but it's something that us smaller YouTubers can get into and hopefully try and make it something. So go down to SherlockShuffle's YouTube page. He's the main driving force behind this podcast. He directs it. He's British, funnily enough, compared to another popular gaming podcast out there. It's a little bit ironic, but that's the way it goes. It's made up of a group of RPM YouTubers who have come together and put together this great podcast. I'd like to say it's on par with the TGS podcast. It doesn't quite go for as long, maybe a little bit loose, but it's definitely something worth checking out, and I will be there. Only downside of it is when they broadcast, it's going to be broadcast at 7 PM GST, which is London time. I will be getting up at 3 AM in the morning, doing the podcast, and then going to work. So I don't know what state of mind I'm going to be in by the time I actually wake up at 3 AM, get my bum into the broadcasting chair, and start going live at 3:30. So it's going to be interesting, and I hope I'll be able to add something to this particular podcast. I'm not that knowledgeable. I think maybe the only thing going for me is that I'm older, maybe, perhaps. Who knows? But yep, go down to youtube.com/SherlockShuffle. Link will be down in the description. I'll also leave the link down in the description for SherlockShuffle's Twitch account as well. So if you pop in on their live stream at 7 PM GMT, in the live stream as a guest host with 3 other people. It's going to be interesting, going to be fun, and I hope it will become a semi-regular thing, even though getting up at 3 AM in the morning could be difficult. Anyway, folks, I'd like to thank everybody who has come to subscribe to me through Castle Story. Welcome to the channel. I do hope you'll stick around, have a look at my other Let's Plays, and enjoy them as much as I enjoy making them. A little quick announcement about my multiplayer weekends. Actually nailing my kids down to actually sit down to do a recording session is proving to be a little difficult. I may move that weekend multiplayer category over from YouTube videos to maybe half YouTube videos, half live streaming. My daughters have actually expressed a little bit of interest in that, and I think I'll be able to pull something off, and it'll be a lot more freeform. We'll just be able to do whatever without the restrictions of trying to get it into a format that I will be able to present to YouTube. Alright then, well, I've been Raetac. This has been the prototype of Castle Story. Thank you for sticking with me, and as always, until next time.